Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do part 2 of the SmartPID retrofit series that I'm doing, and this is just a quick one to show you how to configure the SmartPID based on the bits that I got with it. So I'll take you down and just go straight through it. Okay, so when you first power on the SmartPID, this is the first screen you see after the boot screen. You got your up, down operations, select and back basically. So we will go into configuration, hardware setup. Okay, so my heating is done by electric. It's an electric PID. This is, you have the option to use gas as well there. Control is mash only because this is a mash tun and boiler. It's not an HLT per se. Mash heating is done from DC1. DC1 is the connector that goes to the solid state relay. That's what I spoke about in my last video. Basically this sends a signal from a low voltage side to turn on the high voltage. HLT heating is not used. The pump is on RL2, which is relay 2, if you remember from the last video. The mash probe, the default for this was the 180B, or whatever it's called. I was getting a reading of minus 0.1 degrees Celsius with the default setting. As soon as I changed it to NTC, I got to within half a degree of what my other thermometer was reading. So I'm happy with that. And then that basically is the setup complete. What else you can do here? You can check, make sure you're in degrees Celsius, etc. I don't mess with any of these other settings. These settings, except for here. So I've set it so that the pump stops at 90 degrees Celsius. It will turn off the pump. And then in the other screen, the next screen is this process parameter. It works out how to adjust the power being sent to the element to try and hit your target temperatures correctly. I don't touch any of this. As you can see, it's all stuff that is pretty difficult to work out on your own, but I will show you a way. One thing I did set here is I set the pump cycle, so the pump will be on for 20 minutes and then rest for 2 during the times that it's on. The pump will be on for mash in, set mash, mash out, boil. Malt add prompt. So this is just basically when it reaches temperature, it will just pop up on the screen here and say, has the malt been added? And you say yes. That'll start your timer. Iodine prompt, I'm going to turn this off because I usually do that iodine prompt comes up at the end of the mash. I usually do my iodine test well before that. Then it'll say, has the malt been extracted? You have to acknowledge that before it goes to the boil, so I'll keep that. I'll do my whirlpool hot for 15 minutes, and 25 is the temperature I'm looking for. So that's all I've done in there. And then I did this PID auto tune, which basically, PID auto tune, which basically will run what's in the kettle up to 50 degrees Celsius, and then it'll run all sorts of adjustments based on, so there's the option there to run it. It can take up to an hour to run, and I have run mine. With the fact that it's within half a degree of my digital thermometer tells me that, you know, they could both be out by a small amount, and so I'm probably close enough. And so that is the configuration complete. One other thing you will notice when you do start a brew is that the pump will stop and start a few times for the very first time the pump is switched on, and that is to prime the pump. One other thing that you can look to do here is the initial part of the setup is to get the Wi-Fi connected. Basically what you do is you'll go into your connectivity, into the Wi-Fi setting, and set the device to be an AP, which means it will broadcast an SSID, and then you go from your phone or wherever and connect to that SSID. There are full instructions on how to do that. I think it's 192.168.4.1 is the IP address you connect to, and that'll just run you through the initial steps of getting you onto your own Wi-Fi at home. So inside that setup screen, you'll be able to put your home SSID and password in, and then you change the mode from being an AP, an access point, to being a client in Wi-Fi, and that will just automatically connect. Then you download the app for your phone and browse the network for your client. Okay guys, I hope that was a helpful video. The next video will be about recipe management and working through the different steps in a mash, etc. So I hope it was useful, and I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Cheers.